Objective, multi-step equations. Steps to solving multi-step equations. First step, use the distributive property to remove parentheses. Second, clear the equation of any fraction. So this step's optional. If you're good with working with fractions, then you may not choose to do this step. However, most of the time, it's easier if you get rid of the fractions before solving. Step 3, combine like terms on each side of the equal sign. Step 4, undo addition or subtraction. And step 5, undo multiplication or division. So steps 3, 4, and 5 you've used before with solving one-step and two-step equations. Example number 1, 6 times the quantity y minus 1 plus 8 equals 32. So like step 1 says, use the distributive property to remove the parentheses. 6 times y is 6y, and 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. Carry down the plus 8 equals 32. Clear the equation of any fractions. I don't have any fractions, so I can skip to the third step. Combine like terms on each side of the equal sign. So negative 6 and 8 are both constants. They don't have a variable. These are like terms. So negative 6 plus 8 gives me positive 2. Undo addition or subtraction, step 4. So I have plus 2. The opposite is subtract 2. So subtract 2 from both sides. Minus 2 plus 2 gives me 0. Now we have undo multiplication or division. So I have 6y equals 30. So this is 6 times y. The opposite would be to divide by 6. Divide both sides by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. So 1y equals 30 divided by 6 is 5, so y equals 5. Now remember to check. So here's y. If you replace y with 5 in the original equation, 5 minus 1 is 4. So I have 6 times 4, which is 24. And 24 plus 8 is 32. 32 is equal to 32. You just substitute. Example number 2. Everything you see in blue is the original equation. So 3 times the quantity 2y minus 4 plus 4y equals 8. So step 1, distribute to get rid of parentheses. 3 times 2y is 6y. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Carry down plus 4y and equals 8. Combine like terms since we don't have any fractions. 6y plus 4y. Remember this sign right here, this plus, tells us the sign of the 4y. So 6y plus 4y is 10y. Minus 12, carry it down, equals 8. Now get rid of any addition or subtraction. I have minus 12, so add 12 to both sides. Minus 12 plus 12, that gives you 0, so those cancel each other out. I'm going to stop writing the plus 0. 10y equals 8 plus 12. So 20. 10y equals 20. Divide both sides by 10 to get rid of the 10 in front of the y. 10 divided by 10 is 1. Now I'm not going to write this 1 in front of the y anymore. You should know that there's a 1 there. 20 divided by 10 is 2. So y equals 2. And you can write out the check part if you want to see if your answer is correct. Plug in 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Times 3 is 0, plus, plug in a 2 where that y is. 4 times 2 is 8. 0 plus 8 is 8, so my answer is correct. Example number 3. What you see in red is the original problem. A divided by 7 minus 5 divided by 7 equals 6 divided by 7. So they all have a common denominator of 7. So get rid of the fractions, right? There's no parentheses, so we're on to step 2. Clear the fractions. Multiply everything by 7 will make the fractions disappear. So 7 times a divided by 7 is just a. And you could even say 1a. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 7 times negative 5 sevenths is negative 5. 7 times 6 sevenths is 6. So I have 1a minus 5 equals 6. Step 4 is undo addition or subtraction. So I have minus 5, so add 5 to both sides. Now I have a by itself. 6 plus 5 is 11. A equals 11. And you can substitute to check. Example 4. Negative times the quantity x plus 5 equals negative 14. So this negative means the opposite of, and if you don't see a number with that negative sign, you know there's a 1 there. So negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Negative 1 times 5 is negative 5, equals negative 14 still. Get rid of any addition or subtraction. So I have minus 5, the opposite is to add 5 to both sides. Negative 1x equals negative 14 plus 5 is negative 9. Now remember, our variable not only needs to be by itself, but it also has to be positive. So it can't be a negative 1x, it has to be positive. So divide by negative 1 on both sides. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is just positive x. And negative 9 divided by negative 1 is positive 9. Negative over negative is a positive. Plug in 9 into the original problem to check. Example 5. 0.5t minus 3t plus 5 equals 0. I don't have any parentheses to get rid of. I don't have any fractions to get rid of. Combine like terms on each side of the equal sign. So these two terms both have t, and they have an invisible 1 exponent, so I know that they are like terms. I can say 0.5t minus 3t gives me negative 2.5t. Carry down the plus 5 equals 0. Clear the equation of any addition or subtraction. So plus 5, the opposite would be to subtract 5 from both sides. These will cancel. Negative 2.5t equals 0 minus 5 is negative 5. Now I need to get rid of the negative 2.5 in front of the t, so that's multiplied. The opposite would be to divide. Divide both sides by negative 2.5, and we get t. Negative 5 divided by negative 2.5 is 2. 2 is your answer. Take 2 and plug it in to see if it is correct. Example 6. What's in blue is the original problem. 2/3 plus 3k over 4 equals 71 over 12. Now, I have fractions, and I need to get rid of them. It'll make it a lot easier. So, 3, 4, and 12 are different denominators. In a previous example, when I cleared the fractions, I had all 7s in the bottom, so I multiplied everything by 7 to make the fractions disappear. Here, you need to find the least common denominator. So the smallest number that all of these denominators can go into, the least. So 12. 3 goes into 12, 4 goes into 12, and 12 goes into 12. Evenly. So I'm going to multiply everything by 12. 12 times 2/3 is 8. 12 times 3/4 is 9. Now there's k with it, so keep the k. 12 times 3/4 k is 9k. 12 times 71 over 12 is just 71. Now, 8 plus 9k equals 71 is just a two-step equation that you're familiar with how to solve. So get rid of the 8. Subtract 8 from both sides. Now the 8's are gone. 9k equals 71 minus 8 is 63. 9k equals 63. Divide both sides by 9. 63 divided by 9 is 7, so k equals 7. Example 7, I'll do this one with you. So, 1/4 times the quantity m minus 16 equals 7. I need to distribute to get rid of the parentheses. So 1/4 times m is 1/4 m. 1/4 times 16 is negative 4 equals 7. Now, I need to get rid of the subtraction, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Negative 4 plus 4, those cancel out, gives you 0. 1/4 m equals 7 plus 4 is 11. Now, this is 1/4 times m The opposite of multiplying by 1/4 would be to divide by 1/4 or multiply by the reciprocal, multiply by 4. So multiply both sides by 4. This gives you 1m, or just m, and 4 times 11 is 44. So m equals 44. And you can plug this in to check. Example number 8, 2/3 plus y equals 3/4. I need y by itself, so I need to get rid of 2/3. But I also have fractions, so let's clear the fractions. We would need to multiply by the least common denominator. So the smallest number that 3 and 4 both go into is 12. So I'm going to multiply everything by 12. 12 times 2/3. 12 times 2/3 is 8. 12 times y, well that's 1y, so 12 times 1y is 12y. And 12 times 3/4 is 9. Alright, so now we have a two-step equation. Let's get rid of the 8. Subtract 8 from both sides. 8's cancel. I have 12y equals 9 minus 8 is 1. To get rid of the 12 in front of the y, this is 12 times y, so I'm going to divide, which is the opposite. And that gives me y equals 1 divided by 12. It doesn't go in evenly, so let's leave it as the fraction, 1/12. Y equals 1/12. Example number 9. 8y minus the quantity 2y minus 3 equals 9. So I need to distribute to get rid of the parentheses. There is a negative 1 right here. Negative 1 times 2y is negative 2y. Negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3. Let's carry down the rest. We don't have any fractions to get rid of, so let's combine like terms. I have 8y minus 2y is 6y. Carry down. Get rid of any addition or subtraction, so I have plus 3. That means I need to subtract 3 from both sides. The 3's cancel. 6y equals 6. 9 minus 3 is 6. To get rid of the 6 in front of the y, you need to divide. This is 6 times y, so the opposite would be divide by 6. Y equals 1. You can plug in 1 to check. Sorry, example 10. Alright, there's no parentheses, there's no fractions. Combine like terms. I have 3x plus x. There's a 1 right here. 1x plus 3x is 4x. Now it's a two-step equation. Get rid of the addition or subtraction. I have minus 7, so add 7 to both sides. 4x equals 29 plus 7 is 36. Divide both sides by 4. 4 times x, so divide by 4. And x equals 9. 36 divided by 4 is 9. You can plug in 9 to check. Alright, last one, an application problem. The Wilsons rented a moving truck for $49.95 plus 30 cents per mile. Before returning the truck, they filled the truck with gasoline, which cost $18.32. The total cost was $95.87. Find the number of miles the truck was driven. So define a variable first. I'm looking for number of miles, so let's say M. M is number of miles driven. All right. So we know our total. That means we're going to have some things that are added together, and it's going to equal $95.87. The total the Wilsons spent is $95.87. Initially, they paid $49.95 just for renting the truck, plus 30 cents per mile. So miles is M, so 30 cents per mile. That's 0.3 M or 0.30 M. Per means multiply, so that's how I know to multiply here. And then they filled the truck with gasoline, which cost $18.32. So plus $18.32. All right. So here's our equation. Let's solve this. I don't have any parentheses to get rid of. I don't have any fractions. Combine like terms. $49.95 and $18.32 are both constants. They're just dollar amounts. Add those together. You get 68.27 plus 0.3 M equals 95.87. All right, now it's a two-step equation. We need to subtract 68.27 from both sides. Those will cancel. 0.3 M equals, let's subtract $95.87, subtract $68.27 gives you $27.60. And we're going to divide both sides by 0.3 or 30 cents. And that gives you 92. So M equals 92. What does this mean for the context of our problem? Find the number of miles the truck was driven. So the truck was driven 92 miles. All right. Always make sure you write a sentence explanation for a word problem so you can clarify what does that 92 mean for the context of this problem.